This list is a clear physical proof that their assertions about 432 Hz have nothing to do with reality. Let's be reasonable and don't blindly believe what others say. Hello, I'm Naochika Sogabe. Thank you for watching my YouTube video. If you search for new age music or relaxing music, it's full of the 432 Hz music. 432 Hz music means that the tone A is not tuned to the common concert pitch of 440 Hz, but 432 Hz, so a bit lower. Today I'll talk about the 432 Hz music. First, let me say the following. I'm sure there is also a lot of music on 432 Hz with excellent artistic quality. It's the listeners who should judge this and not me or the creator of this music. Here, it's only about the phenomenon with this frequency. The supporters of 432 Hz say that the Greek mathematician Pythagoras already used this pitch. And in India, the instruments were always tuned on this frequency. The music on 432 should increase our natural healing power, repair DNA, and also open our third eye. They also say, in 1939, at the conference in London, the Nazis forced to increase the concert pitch from the natural 432 Hz to the 440 Hz, which causes aggression, anxiety, and hysterics. So much for the assertions of the supporters of 432 Hz. I studied music history and play a historical instrument, lute. In early music, we play on different pitches, 392 Hz, 415 Hz, or 465 Hz, and so on. The pitch depends on the period and place of the composition, and the pitch can depend on the church organ at the place. In 1880, a scientist, Alexander John Ellis, published a list of pitches of church organs and other instruments in his book, The History of Musical Pitch. Here is examples from A 373.1 Hz to A 567.3 Hz. This list is a clear physical proof that their assertions about 432 Hz have nothing to do with reality. It's not only that the original concert pitch was not 432 Hz, but there was no standard concert pitch at all. As I already said, I play a historical instrument and played on various pitches. For some musicians in early music scene, the pitch is very important. However, in early music concerts, we don't retune every time, even if we play music from different periods and countries. We decide on a pitch, for example 415 Hz or 392 Hz, and we play it through. Personally, I can see only a few musical effects of the different pitches. We also don't expect any healing effects from baroque pitch or anything. The approaches about pitch are completely different for early music and 432 Hz music. They say that the Tibetans and Indians would have tuned their instrument to 432 Hz. For example, the Indian flute bansuri. This is the instrument played by the god Krishna. For all wind instruments, the pitch gets lower as the environment gets colder and vice versa. The difference can become about a semitone depending on the temperature. In the warm temperature, the air expands and becomes lighter. The air in a pipe can vibrate faster and the sound becomes higher. Maybe you know that helium gas is very light, so
our voice becomes higher when we breathe it in.
A natural wind instrument like bansuri doesn't have any possibility to tune like modern wind instruments. So it's physically not possible to play a natural wind instrument always on a certain pitch. The historical document and the physical characteristic of the air show that their assertions about 432 Hz have nothing to do with reality. If you like any music created at 432 Hz, it's not the pitch that does you well, but the good artistic quality of this music. Some of you could say, but I actually feel the healing power of 432 Hz music, and I feel really aggression when I listen to the music on 440 Hz. Now let's listen to and compare the both pitches. They are played on the equal temperature and not on the pure intonation, so not like my latest recordings. Without the modern equal temperament, they don't get 432 Hz anyway. I'll tell you about that later. Unlike most of the 432 Hz relaxing music, it will be played on a synthesizer and sampling without natural instrument. I saw that in the other comparison videos, many viewers only saw the part of comparison and didn't watch the part of explanation. Please watch also the part after the comparison. I prepared a small surprise. Which version do you like? Maybe you find the second version more soft and relaxing. To tell the truth, you didn't hear the 440 Hz and 432 Hz version. The first one was played on 432 Hz and the second one was on 424 Hz. I'm very sorry that I fooled you. But in this way, I wanted to show you that you always find the slightly lower version more relaxing than the higher version. Because you listen in the most comparison videos, the 440 Hz version first and then the 432 Hz version, you inevitably find the 432 Hz version, so the lower version more relaxing. And this effect occurs for most people only when it's compared directly one after the other. That's why I put relatively long silence between the two examples to make the comparison more difficult. If you could not recognize the differences between the two samples as well as the other comparison videos, don't worry, it's normal. I also wanted to show that a direct comparison of the pitches one after the other cannot indicate which pitch is better. Now we know that the music on the 432 Hz does not necessarily sound the most pleasant. And we also know that we react more to the relative pitches rather than the absolute pitches. But the market of New Age music is full of the 432 Hz music. What could this happen? The really serious cause is that too many people blindly believe what others say without thinking or checking for themselves. Let's be reasonable and don't blindly believe what others say. That's actually what I want to say in this video. In Buddhism, we must not blindly believe what the master says. We must check for ourselves, even to understand it well. This is the basic principle of Buddhist practice. With this attitude, you are well protected from such attempts of manipulation. Another reason for the success of the 432 Hz music is the task of music itself. It's a difficult task to inspire people with the music. It would be much easier if some pitch or something alone would guarantee a certain effect on our minds. If it's propagated in advance that a frequency would influence us, some listeners will be influenced by it. And they actually believe as if their minds had been raised, for example. It's all make-believe, but they believe it. It always works. But a frequency can never replace the artistic performance. This is what each of us must accept. In my channel, I often talk about the pure intervals, but I'm aware that it's only a musical technique that supports the artistic performance. I'm very grateful that most of your comments are only about my artistic performance. I think what wonderful listeners I have. I thank you for your wonderful feedbacks. Now let's see how they got on this frequency of 432 Hz. They set the 1 vibration per second, that is 1 Hz, for the note C as the initial note. They double of this frequency and get 2 Hz. This is C again, now 1 octave higher. So they keep doubling 4, 8, 16,
32, 64, 128
and 256 Hz. The note A above this 256 Hz after equal temperament is 432 Hz. Simple, clear and natural, say the supporters. Now let's take a closer look. We can find 3 logical errors. The first error is the time unit, the second one is the frequency unit, and the third one is the tuning method. These 3 are all artificial and arbitrary. The second is an artificial unit of time duration. The traditional definition of second is calculated from an average day length. 1 day length is divided by 86,400, so we have 1 second. The active definition of a second becomes
9,192,631,770
times the period of radiation of a cesium atom. This is absolutely unnatural. And the frequency unit Hertz is a quite new unit based on the artificial time unit second. That means the basic frequency of 1 Hz is already an arbitrarily generated pitch. Now about the tuning method. Equal temperament is a quite new tuning method. It only became established at the end of the 19th century. In equal temperament, an octave is divided into 12 semitones with an equal spacing. However, the natural, pure intervals result from the proportions of the tones. For example, 2 to 3 for fifth, 4 to 5 for third interval. These pure intervals are not artificial, but exist since our universe exists. In the video Tame the Wolf, I have explained more precisely about the tuning method. In any case, when you divide an octave by 12 with an equal spacing, the intervals cannot be natural and pure. Therefore, the third or sixth intervals in equal temperament sound always quite out of tune. Equal temperament is of course unknown among native peoples. The 432 Hz was generated according to this equal temperament and has nothing to do with the natural vibration. One of the modern arguments for the 432 Hz music is based on the Schumann resonances. The Schumann resonances are reflections of extremely long electromagnetic waves between the Earth's surface and the ionosphere. They ignore that they are electromagnetic waves and not acoustic waves. The basic frequency of Schumann resonances is 7.83 Hz. But the supporters of 432 Hz music set the fundamental frequency of the Schumann resonances as 8 Hz. From this number 8, they calculate the A in equal temperament and they get 432 Hz. But if you calculate the A from the real Schumann resonances of 7.83 Hz with the same method, you get 430.4 Hz and not 432 Hz. And they calculate with the artificial equal temperament again. So they calculated from a wrong type of wave with a wrong basic frequency with a wrong tuning method. Schumann resonances cannot be an argument for 432 Hz. They use a logical trick in their calculations. The very first basic condition is replaced by a fictive condition. Many people don't expect that the very first basic condition could be wrong. If the listener don't notice that and is already in their fictional logic, they have an easy game. For example, to spread a radical ideology, this method is often used. As I already said, let's be reasonable and don't blindly believe what others say. Today I talked about the 432 Hz music, but with this example I wanted to say how important it is to be reasonable and think for yourself. If you stop thinking for yourself and accept what you hear or see, you are at the mercy of people who want to manipulate and exploit you. And I'm not an exception. Don't believe what I said today as well. Please think and check for yourself. If you like this video, then give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to this channel. See you in the next video. じゃあね。